Smiley Face Part 3. Aslan carefully put on his white helmet and began his pre-startup checks. He knew it as a stump check. Security, throttle, all clear, master mags, prop clear. It was not so much about safety but doing everything possible to get his flying bomb on target. A once-only opportunity. He would only be in the air for 12 minutes. But it would be the most significant 12 minutes since 9/11's the rest of his men put on their suicide vests and checked their weapons. A series of gunshots and muffled explosions from the ground floor signaled that it was time for Aslan to go to paradise. The infidels had discovered them. "Quickly now, push me to the ledge. Hurry, hurry," he urged his men. Aslan now had the aircraft at full throttle. He untied the wing, took his parking brake off, set his choke, and ensured the fuel tap was on, master switch on. Then he pressed the ignition and double-checked his harness, not because he was concerned for his safety, but so that he didn't fall out of the cockpit before he hit his target. He didn't have time for the entire flight checks as the gunfire was approaching. Then, finally, the engine screamed at full throttle, and his men pushed him and the aircraft over the edge. Pulling back on the bar, he felt himself drop like a lead weight due to the artillery shell and extra weaponry. Then he started to gain some altitude, having gone over the route a million times in his head and simulators so far as going to plan. He was oblivious to the fighting raging behind him at the car park. A sniper eventually killed the jihadi at the bottom of the guard after he killed 3 police officers before he could initiate his lethal suicide vest. The other 8 jihadis eagerly ran down the ramps to face the enemy, sheets of lead tearing into the Turkish police from their AK-74 assault rifles, who quickly retreated to their armored personnel carriers, leaving a further 2 dead and 1 injured. The injured policeman begged for mercy as one of the jihadis screamed Allahu Akbar. Then he proceeded to decapitate him and throw the severed head in the direction of the police vehicles before the police sniper also neutralized him. Splitting into 2 teams, one team of 4 ran along the street to the right of the car park, machine gunning anything and everyone in their path, men, women, and children. The other team of 3 went to the shopping mall and continued their indiscriminate slaughter of civilians. Aslan had been airborne for 5 minutes. In this time, 57 people had been killed by his men. He pushed down on the control bar to the left and looked down at the same street where he had met his wife at a Moroccan restaurant. Cars, buses, and people went past in a blur. He held the detonator for the artillery shell in his right hand. Looking at his watch, 7 minutes and 12 seconds had gone by in the blink of an eye. Turning right now, he was close to his destiny, orienting himself with a mosque near the railway station. He was steady and true, like an arrow through the heart of a crusader dog. Looking down, he saw a small boy with an older man. The boy was holding a red balloon and pointing up at Osman. He smiled and waved at the boy, and the boy waved back. It was surreal, like a dream. Then, noticing a police helicopter above him that seemed to be tracking him, he ignored it. "They cannot fire at me as I'm so low down, and there are too many civilians. They cannot stop me. It is the will of Allah." Pushing the bar to the right, this was the last road, a sharp right turn now along Martyrs Avenue, and he could see the main drag that headed to the embassy, 110 Ataturk BLVD. He had been there many times. It was too easy. Now Osman was at the same level as a family in an apartment block, sitting and drinking coffee. They looked open-mouthed in amazement at him, and once again, he waved at them. He felt like some sort of a celebrity, the red and yellow microlights with a smiley face on the front, hiding a deadly secret. He knew he could not fail. It was always meant to be this way, like he had dreamt it 1,000 times. Then it was there. His eyes zeroed in on the American flags on the shiny cars, the enemies of Islam on his holy streets. Feeling ecstatically happy, in complete euphoria and highly sexually aroused, he had never taken any drugs. Still, he thought this must be how it made the infidels feel when they were high. He laughed, "High like me." Finger on the detonator, Osman made his final kamikaze dive, aiming for the first shiny black limousine in the convoy that he decided must have the American pig president inside. The most powerful person on earth will die because of one Muslim and a few $100s worth of muck. Please like, subscribe, and share. Read A. McNally's book Sons of Eirinn, Operation Celtic Jihad.